Disclaimer: the following narrative is based on open source reports and public claims.
Imagine a scenario that has lived inside Pentagon war rooms for decades. A deadly air defense system, one of the most feared on the planet, deployed not in Russia, not in the Middle East, but just a few hundred miles off the coast of the United States. That system is the S-400 Triumph, a weapon that has forced NATO pilots to rethink their flight routes and made American defense planners lose sleep. And now the world is asking a serious question. Has Russia secretly deployed the S-400 to Venezuela? If true, this could reshape the balance of military power across the Western Hemisphere. To understand why this rumor is explosive, you have to understand one fact. Venezuela isn't just another South American country. It's a strategic gate into the Caribbean, a choke point for oil shipping lanes, and dangerously close to U.S. air and naval routes. Relations between Washington and Caracas have collapsed for years, and as tension grew, Venezuela quietly became a geopolitical chessboard between the United States and Russia. Moscow sees Venezuela as the perfect opportunity to place military influence in America's backyard. And if this deployment is real, we may be witnessing a new version of the Cold War, one much closer to U.S. territory. Now let's talk about the weapon itself. The S-400 isn't just another anti-air missile system. It's a layered network of long-range radars, multi-band sensors, command centers, and missiles capable of striking targets up to 400 kilometers away. Even stealth jets like the F-35 or F-22 are not completely invisible to its radar signature. It can detect, track, and destroy fighter jets, helicopters, bombers, drones, cruise missiles, and even high-altitude surveillance aircraft. NATO has a nickname for any airspace guarded by the S-400, the dead zone, because once an aircraft enters that zone, survival is no longer guaranteed. If the S-400 is deployed inside Venezuela, its 400-kilometer reach would cover large parts of Caribbean airspace, U.S. flight corridors near Puerto Rico, American reconnaissance routes near Curaçao, and long-used military routes Washington assumed were safe. In other words, this isn't just a defensive umbrella. It's a strategic warning. Any unauthorized aircraft entering that airspace risks being locked, tracked, and shot down. For the first time in decades, the U.S. could no longer operate freely in a region they have dominated since World War II. So the big question remains, is this real? Reports from 2019 claimed Russia already sent advanced S-300 VM systems to Venezuela, but the S-400 is a different class entirely. This isn't an upgrade, it's a power shift. It would instantly make Venezuela the most heavily defended airspace in Latin America. Some analysts believe Russia may already have deployed pieces of the system quietly, just like they did in Syria before announcing it publicly. Whether confirmed or not, the possibility alone is enough to change military calculations across the region. The United States isn't ignoring this. In recent months, U.S. exercises in the Caribbean have noticeably changed. They no longer focus solely on logistics or landing drills, but now include long-range strike penetration simulations, training designed specifically for operating near advanced air defense systems. That shift is not an accident. Meanwhile, Colombia, Brazil, and NATO are closely watching Venezuela's growing military ties with Moscow. The deployment of an S-400 wouldn't just protect Venezuela. It could alter the security balance of the entire region. The Venezuelan government hasn't exactly denied their ambitions. President Nicolas Maduro has openly described his country as an anti-imperialist defense zone equipped with Russian technology. And when Russia deployed Tu-160 strategic bombers to Venezuela years ago, it wasn't a symbolic visit, it was a warning shot. If the S-400 is now part of that defense network, it means Moscow is extending its military reach directly into the Western Hemisphere. And that message couldn't be clearer. The world order is changing, and Russia intends to shape it. So we're left with one question. Is the S-400 truly operating in Venezuela? Or is this a geopolitical psychological operation meant to make Washington nervous without firing a single missile? Whatever the truth may be, one undeniable fact remains. For the first time in a generation, there is a real possibility that U.S. aircraft could be tracked, targeted, and shot down near their own territorial sphere. The global military map is shifting, and the rules are being rewritten, not by treaties but by technology. And maybe, just maybe, the world is witnessing the birth of a new reality where military power is no longer defined by distance, but by how close you're willing to place your most dangerous weapons to your rival's doorstep.